Hello, everybody. Happy New Year from everybody here at Horror 101 with Dr. AC, everyone being me. I wanted to say thanks to everybody for their support over the past year. We're going to keep up with our Friday Night Frights. Those have been fun to do, and it seems like people are enjoying them. But I wanted to try something new for 2024, and that is a program called The Stack. Because if you're anything like me, you have a ton of movies just kind of sitting around waiting to be watched, because you know if you put them away, you're not going to watch them, or you'll forget about them. So I keep them out, and then they just kind of sit there and sit there. Everything just takes a little bit longer than you think it's going to. If you want kind of like a glimpse of my problem here, that's like one of the stacks. So anyway, that's kind of the tone of the stack. And today we're going to start off with The Abomination. This is a new release from Visual Vengeance. And I first became aware of The Abomination. I was over at my friend John Kitley's Turkey Day celebration, where he programs movies that, you know, are just kind of a little bit off. They're always really fun with a crowd. And The Abomination is absolutely a turkey in that it is made with such earnestness. It's really trying to be a solid monster movie. And it's shot on Super 8, 1986. This was Bret McCormick's debut film. And he made a monster movie. And it's hilarious and wonderful. And you get that just DIY spirit running all the way through it. He lived in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so he's very much a regional filmmaker. He never really left Dallas-Fort Worth and just made a bunch of movies while he was there in Texas. The Abomination being his first. Deep in the heart of rural Texas, a TV evangelist exorcises a tumor from the body of a local worshiper who soon coughs up the growth. The cancer is actually a carnivorous life form that slithers its way into her son Cody while he sleeps, growing inside him until he is completely under its control. Now Cody must feed the beast fresh victims to keep them both alive. As the monster grows larger and larger, it threatens to feast on everyone in its path. That sounds like a good time. Guess what? It is a good time. The Abomination is probably one of my favorite movies I saw last year because it is just so energetic, and there's a ton of gore and, you know, just monster goodness. This monster likes to, you know, it basically takes over this guy's kitchen, and it lives in his cabinet. It lives under his stove. It lives, you know, in his sink. You know, it's just a big gluey mass with a bunch of teeth. Lots of people get killed in order to feed the beast, and it's a good time. The great thing about this new company, Visual Vengeance, is that they have packed this thing with goodness. It's got 2 commentary tracks. Commentary with Bret McCormick and the 2 guys from Visual Vengeance, Rob Hothchild and Matt Desiderio. And it's also got commentary from Tony Strauss of Wang's Chop magazine. And the commentary with Tony is very fun. He's clearly a fan of the film. But there's also this feature-length documentary interview with Bret McCormick, kind of talking about his life as a filmmaker. And it is just wonderful. I think one of the things with these kind of low budget films, what helps you kind of access them, not just kind of like sit on the outside and laugh at them and poke fun at their amateurishness or less than professional from Hollywood standards, is I love to make friends with the filmmaker. And that becomes very easy to do when you get a package like Visual Vengeance is presented, where you have these interviews and you have these behind the scenes and you have Bret McCormick, you know, driving you around, showing his various filming locations. You get to know the filmmaker, and you are on their side. You're rooting for them. It's like you're sitting there watching this movie with them as a friend. And that makes these movies just that much more enjoyable. It's difficult to make a movie in the first place. And this shows us just how hard it is, and the fact that they persevere and they triumph, and they actually get released, you know. But it seems like that's what Visual Vengeance aesthetics are, is they're seeking out these lower budget, either, you know, shot on Super 8 or 16 or shot on video, but movies that really are harder to come by, and they're kind of really bringing them back into the light with just a ton of extras. I'm going to show you just kind of some of the stuff we got here. You got this slipcover, which gives you an alternate cover art, but this is where the fun is. So you got a set of stickers, you got a poster You've got the official comic book adaptation, which I think is about like 16 pages long. You've got these awesome liner notes. It's a full essay on the Abomination. It's a really great package, and that seems to be what Visual Vengeance is all about. Oh, I forgot. There is a reversible that side, which is awesome. That's the Abomination. Now, having spent this much time, listening to these interviews and the commentaries, and just kind of like really digging on what Bret McCormick is laying down, I was very excited to check out another release from Visual Vengeance, and that's Bret McCormick's Repligator. I wasn't as big a fan of Repligator simply because it's a comedy. One of the things about low budget filmmaking is that you don't want to make the comedy kind of an excuse for it not being a well-polished film, which is not to say that the Repligator is not, there's a lot of production value. I mean, you got a bunch of, gator babes running around with gator heads on. There's some, special effects, and laser beams and things like that. You got Gunnar Hansen on board as one of the lab guys. It doesn't have that same kind of like hungry and wanting to really try and make an impression. It doesn't take itself seriously. And I think that's the great thing the Abomination does. It really does take itself seriously. It's trying to be a really good monster movie, and just with no budget at all, but a lot of imagination. Repligator feels like, hey, we're going to make this kind of, cheapy sci-fi thing. It'll be fun. And I think that's why it didn't resonate as much for me. That said, once again, we get an awesome, double reversible cover art. That's one of the gator babes. And again, we got fancy X-ray specs. We got more stickers. We got insert card. We get another poster, no comic book, but we do get another poster of that cover art. These are two releases from Visual Vengeance. I've got a couple more here on the stack, and I'm looking forward to digging into them. But that is the Abomination, which is the one I highly recommend, and Repligator, which is kind of an also fun. If you like Bret McCormick, based on what you saw in the Abomination, you might want to check out Repligator as well. I'm looking forward to spending more time over the course of the next year, kind of pulling stuff off the stack and sharing my impressions with you. I would love to hear your impressions. If you've seen the Abomination or Repligator, I would love to hear your comments below. And if this is the kind of thing you like, please hit that like button so I know you like it. I've got a ton more stuff that I'm still going to be working my way through. So I'm afraid you're stuck with me for a little while longer anyway. Until next time, keep searching, keep exploring, and keep sharing the scare.